Hello everyone, Box Bandy here. Today, I'm going to share a serious thing that I've experienced in the last week. All know I needed to get out of the heat and get to higher elevation because I was so hot here and it was hard to live and function around here with the high heats. But in the air conditioning, I did fine as long as I didn't go out in the daytime when it's really hot. But I decided to go up and visit a friend who has an eco village, a permaculture village up near the Grand Canyon. So Friday morning, I took off. I went to Havasu Thursday, and from Friday morning, I took off to head up to the Grand Canyon, just below it, like 30 miles. And I noticed as I got higher in the elevation, although it was cooler, and it was a relief to me for that. I noticed I right away started feeling funny, like tired. By the time I got to where I was going, I went from zero elevation at sea level in Quartzsite all the way to about 6,600 feet elevation. When I got there, immediately I noticed I was having a little bit of shortness of breath and I was very weak within the very first few hours. I was having trouble walking. I felt lightheaded and dizzy. I had experienced this before. Every time I went up to the mountains, like when I was camping in Belmont near Flagstaff or Lake Mary, every time I went to the Grand Canyon, I noticed these things. But usually I was only up there when I went to the Grand Canyon, usually just one day. When I went to camping in Lake Mary, I was gradual. I started out like in Seligman, and then I went to Casa Verde. I can't remember, but anyhow, another next higher elevation, or Camp Verde maybe. It was pretty high, but I went back down the next day. I camped at Lake Mary and Belmont up near Flagstaff quite a bit, but I was able to do it gradually. I adjusted gradually. I never did this where I went up and stayed for a long time before, all at once. I can't say never, but I guess I didn't realize what was happening to me each time. The last time I had real altitude sickness, I didn't even know that was what it was. People around me thought I was irritable. I noticed I couldn't breathe. I wanted to stay in bed all the time. Um, I was exhausted. I couldn't do the regular functions. Last time we went to Belmont, no sooner did I get there, I passed out trying to put up my uh, my gazebo, and immediately I had to call for help. Thank goodness friends were there to help me. I noticed when I go to the higher elevations, I cannot do the things that I normally would do. I never realized it could be altitude sickness. So this time when I got up there, I had severe altitude sickness. I didn't realize how bad it was. And I probably could have died if I didn't get this taken care of right. Because I'm going to share some information about altitude sickness. I will tell you what symptoms I had. I had very severe headaches and nausea. I couldn't eat. I didn't sleep. I was so weak, I could hardly walk. I was uncoordinated and disoriented, had very shortness of breath, and I felt like I was carrying 10 or 20-pound weights on my feet when I walked. The thing about this, on top of that, I had like a ton of phlegm in my chest, and my head felt like it's full of stuff. And it was crazy. It was just, I couldn't understand why I was having so much problems. I was drinking plenty of water, and I didn't. move too fast. I took it very slow, but I still was having all these symptoms. I got there Friday afternoon. I stayed till Tuesday morning when I realized I had to get out of there. So let me share some of the symptoms I found out about altitude sickness on the internet through this website. It's called. You can check it out. It's called Cleveland Clinic, and it talks about altitude sickness. What it really is when you travel to higher elevation without letting your body adjust to the new altitude, you may experience symptoms such as nausea and headache. Once you return to lower elevation, most likely all those symptoms will go away. And who's normally is affected by this is like hikers and things like that. But you don't have to be a hiker to experience all these symptoms, because anybody can get it. It doesn't matter about your age or sex or general health. You may be at higher risk if you might have heart problems or lung problems like COPD. I think I have mild COPD. Or if you live in lower elevations and move up to a higher elevation very quickly. So basically, high altitude is considered 8 to 12,000 feet. Very high is 12 to 18,000, and extremely high is 18,000. But some people like me are affected by even lower elevations. Because I live at sea level, um, going up to the Grand Canyon, which is about 6,600 feet above sea level, is a big jump all in one day. So there's three degrees of altitude sickness, which are mild, moderate, and severe. Mild symptoms would be such things as headache and fatigue, but it really doesn't mess with your ability to do your normal things. And within a few days, your body usually acclimates and gets comfortable with that. So, if long as your body adjusts, that's not a bad thing. You can just slowly acclimate. Moderate is when it actually starts to interfere with your normal activities, and you may have really bad headaches and sometimes nausea or difficulty with coordination. So, if you experience those things, you might consider going to a lower elevation till your body adjusts and gradually move up. Severe altitude sickness, you may feel shortness of breath even when you're resting. It can be hard to walk, and uh, if that happens, you need to get to lower elevation right away and probably seek medical care. There's two forms of serious AMS, which is one is HAPE, HAPE. It's high altitude pulmonary edema, and it can cause extra fluids on your lungs, it would cause breathlessness, even when you're laying down and not moving around much. You will feel very fatigued and weak, and may feel like you're suffocating. This is what I experienced. HACE is another severe form, HACE, which is high altitude cerebral edema, which involves fluid on the brain and can cause brain swelling, and it may cause confusion or bad coordination and could even cause violent behavior. So I believe I had the first form of HAPE because I was have all the severe symptoms. And so I was dizzy, I was fatigued, I had no energy, shortness of breath, loss of appetite, I had sleep problems, extreme fatigue. Um, I I also had the coughing up the white fluid from my lungs. And so One thing is, you could be diagnosed by a doctor, and usually that was what you would do. But I just decided I had to get back to my lower elevation. I realized what was going on after I'd been there for a day or two. So yeah, they do have tests like chest X-rays, MRI, or CAT scan, but I don't think I need to do that because I noticed as soon as I got home, I started feeling way, way better. So, the treatments could be steroids like dexamethasone. I'm not the doctor. I'm not suggesting you do this yourself. You always need to check with the doctor. But they do use that for sometimes preventive medication. You may need oxygen or medication such as a lung inhaler or in severe cases a respirator. If you need more oxygen, uh, provider might provide something like acetazolamide, which increases your breathing rate so you can take in more oxygen. And then the medication would help your body adjust a little quicker to the higher elevations. So the way to prevent it is called ac- acclimatization, where it allows your body to adjust to the change in the oxygen levels. Take your time when you travel. If you're going up to higher elevations, spend some time at uh, during the climb. Say you're going a total of 10,000 feet in elevation. You want to make sure at about 2 or 3,000 feet, you need to stop and stay there for 24 hours or something, and then move up to the next step. That's the best way you can prevent getting seriously sick. You may still experience some of these milder symptoms, but as long as you're careful, you will not s- probably have the severe or fatal altitude sickness, which is HAPE and HACE, because it could get to the point where you could go into a coma or even die. So you need to be treated right away. So altitude sickness can be cured in the sense that it's really a temporary thing, and you just need to make sure that you allow your body time to get used to it gradually. So I hope this has helped people um, know what to do. Uh, you need to know your own body, know what your body is affected by, and make sure you're careful. Stay hydrated. Don't drink alcohol when you're climbing to higher elevations. Eat a lot of carbohydrates, and they say don't smoke or take antidepressant drugs or sleeping pills and things like that. But I don't do any of that except I do smoke. But I noticed I wasn't smoking as much when I was up there, that's for sure. But I wanted to, but I didn't. Anyhow, so I certainly hope this helped you. Be careful if you're climbing, if you're traveling a lot, and all nomads travel. But if you're going to higher elevations, please be sure that you take it slow, especially as you get older. You know, you don't react the same ways you did when you were younger. I'm 70. I noticed I reacted very severely to this, and so did my dog. Maxie was throwing up. He couldn't eat. He would hardly drink any water. He didn't have his normal, regular energy, but when he did have energy, it was like anxious and agitated. So just even I don't know if dogs actually experience altitude sickness, but I think Maxie did. So I think we had the same thing. I anyhow, I'm glad to be back home just because I'm not sick anymore. And within less than a day, I was feeling 100% better. So I'm home. I'm in the air conditioner. That's true. I can't get out in the heat of the day. But that's okay. I got out this morning, sat out on my patio when it's cool, had my breakfast and coffee, and visited with the neighbor a little bit. And in the evenings, I can do that too. So I think I better stay out of the mountains. I hate to say it. I would love to be able to go up there, but I just can't do that. Again, I don't want to put my life at risk that way. So thank you for watching. If you found this information helpful, make sure you comment in the comment section. Please like. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. Check out the description below this video if you would like to support my channel. And thank you again.